I'm just checking the time because our special guest, I think, is not there for the moment. I know his time is a bit limited. Oh yes, you're here, Rafael?
Yeah, I am here.
Yes, great. So to be right on time, maybe I will show after that a partial revert or something like that. But we will. I know you have a limited time today, so and we are very pleased to have you. You can share your screen, your webcam if you want. I don't manage to do it without losing the audio. So, but just let me introduce yourself a bit. So Rafael is a friend of mine for more than 10 years now. We met in UK. I'm French, he's from Spain, and we met in UK for State of the Map 2013. That was quite a long time ago. And we met again in various countries. Never Spain or France actually. This is mostly in Africa. And you may have seen his edits here and there because it's a huge mapper. It's as some of you, a multi-million edit mappers with the name of Edvac. Yes, and I think you're almost edited in other countries in the world, Rafael.
Maybe 150, or I don't know, something like that.
Okay. So the floor is yours, and as you are an insider of the data working group, and we are very pleased to have your 2 cents about what it is about being a member of the DWG.
Okay, thank you, Severin. So today I have to speak about the data working group. That is a working group from the OSM Foundation. I would like to know how to share my screen, because I have the share, but it's great.
Yes, sorry. I
will have to close this.
I need to make you presenter. That should be okay now, and I will stop sharing my screen.
Entire screen. Share. Maybe you see my screen now.
It's coming.
Yes, yeah.
Black.
Okay, so data working group. As I was saying, it's a working group from the OSM Foundation. At the moment, it's composed by 18 people. We were, some months ago, we were 30, but 12 people have left for different reasons. And and to be a member of the working group in this case is by invitation. Well, basically because we can do things that normal users can do. So we have to make sure that people in the working group are people that we trust very much. That's the reason that probably you understand very well. So what we do in the working group, we deal with copyright infringement. That means 2 things. When you use sources of data to map things, and those sources of data we don't have permission, or they don't have a license that is compatible with the ODBL. So the typical example is don't use data from Google Maps, for example, or from other sources that we don't have the right permission. And also we deal with the use of our data by companies, organizations that are using our data, and they are not treating our data according with the ODBL. Or simply they are using our data and they are not mentioning us. Okay. Secondly, we deal with also with personal data added to objects or nodes. Sometimes we see people that add, for example, the name of the owners of one home, or different personal data to objects that they shouldn't be there. So it's okay to put, for example, the telephone number of a shop, because that is a public number or telephone number that you can find advertised everywhere. But it's not good to add, for example, the telephone number of a person that lives, a particular person that lives in a home. And also for the same reason with nodes. So nodes that include personal data or offensive nodes against particular people, we will hide these nodes. Okay. The third typical theme we deal with is the conflictive imports or mechanical edits. So imports of data are okay, they are fine, but they have to be done with a special process. That means we may find data to import into OpenStreetMap that we have permission, that they are compatible, they have a license, but we cannot simply add this data to OpenStreetMap without going through the process that is reflected in the imports guidelines. So I will show you, in this case, I will show you the imports guidelines. So I don't know if you have seen these already in your course, but these are the import guidelines wiki. All these links, I will give them to you at the end of my speech. So you see, you have to follow these guidelines. So you have to get the license approval. You have to speak with the local community before you start with anything. You have to document it in the wiki. You have to see how to do this wiki, and then you have to, well, this I have mentioned already, and then you have to make an import review with the whole community. So you have to speak with the local community, and then you have to speak with the global community import. And once you have passed through all these steps, then you can start uploading the data. So we deal, of course, with people that are importing data without mentioning that they are importing data. In those cases, normally we just revert the data, or even in some cases when the license is not okay, we can redact the data. I will talk about redacting data compared with reverting data, because you have been speaking about reverting data at this moment, but just another thing is to redact the data. Okay.
Yeah, I did not mention the redaction yet.
Yeah, well, but you have been talking about reverting data, no?
I just reverted one genset I just created before, just showing, I mean, the process and how it works in JOSM. Okay,
so afterwards I will tell what is the difference between reverting data and what is redacting data. Okay, and also the automated edits. That means to create a bot that starts correcting data, for example, to see, I don't know, we have a McDonald's chains and McDonald's chain all around the world, and we want to make corrections to branches that don't have the correct name on. So we have to, as with imports, we have to talk with the local community, we have to talk with the global community and show how the bot will work, because sometimes a good idea makes a very bad editing. And then we have to revert lots of data because the automated edit was not done well. So let's go here again. So this would be the conflicted ports and mechanical edits. Also, this is quite a very common, are the edit wars. I mean, serious disputes between users or between groups of users. You know, edit wars, that means one person or one group of persons are putting a tag, then another person or group of persons are changing this tag to another tag, again, the others, go back, go back, go back. And this is something that we absolutely, we don't accept at all. So if there is an edit word, you can be sure that at some point there will be blocked people and be warned to not go on with edit word. The serious disputes between users, we strongly advise the communities, the local communities, to try to solve the issues themselves without involving the data working group. So, because obviously the data working group, we have a number of limited people. So if the problems can be dealt by the local communities, it's better. If that doesn't work at all, then you can contact the data working group. I will tell you how you can contact. Another one is vandalism. Sometimes the vandalism is not a vandalism at all. We are talking about edits of people that have a good purpose, but because they are newies, they are doing wrong things. But of course, there are some people that do vandalism for different reasons. Sometimes they are commercial, sometimes they are political, and sometimes they are just vandalism because they just want to do bad things. But in OpenStreetMap, compared with Wikipedia, for example, vandalism is quite rare. I mean, we are quite lucky that vandalism is not very so common as it is in the Wikipedia, for example. And another thing we do is to set also policies on data. One of the policies, for example, deals with, let me show you here. With disputed territories. This is quite common. Country A and country B, they claim the same one certain area of the world. So, of course, both of them, they say they are right, and then we have to set a policy to deal with this. Normally, with names and also with borders and boundaries, what we do is to apply what is on the ground. So even if we are not, we don't agree with country B controlling this area that should belong to country A, we map it as a country B area. Okay. Anyway, I will show you I will let you have also the link to this page and to other pages. So we encourage the good communication, as I said, among users, especially change set messages. And when you have a change set, let's say it's open here, for example, 7Geo, open. So for example, here you can discuss about this edit of 7Geo. Okay. Because this discussion will be open to everyone, for us is much better, because also the DWG, the data working group, we can see what is going on. For example, one of the typical problems we have with some users is that many users are contacting them and then they don't answer any question. And in that case, sometimes we block them for just to claim their attention, to make sure they have to answer the questions. How to contact the data working group? Okay, you can email this email address. Please, if you do that, be the most descriptive possible. I mean, if you can show links about what a user is doing, for example, and even sometimes with images, it's much better than a message that is simply saying that this guy is doing wrong things, because if you do that, in case we want to know what is he's doing, we have to do all the process. We have to open and see the edits and find out what is wrong. So please be very descriptive about what is going on. Or you can open an issue for a user. For example, suppose that Severin has done something that we find that is not good or not is wrong, or maybe it's a problem. So if you open your web page with your user, you will see this thing, report this user. So if I click in report this user, then I can tell this user profile contains a spam, this user profile is obscene, this user profile contains a threat, this user is a vandal, and other. So we say what is going on, and then here we provide the same information that we would do with email. Okay, and then once you do that, the users of the members of the data working group, we will see in the issues, we will see a list of issues. You see, for example, here I have this. We have now 85 issues that are open, and we have to deal with. Okay. So for example, if I open this Primtendo, I see one report, and the user reporting it is this wood was fall, and he say re-added Pokemon Pokeball graffiti after it was removed. Okay, this guy is probably editing things for the renderer or for the Pokemon Go game. So we would have probably to contact him, warning him that he cannot go on doing this, and if he still doesn't answer, then I would block him. Okay, this is what I would do in this case. So that is open an issue for a user. In this case, I will write it report this user now. This report this user. Yeah, report this user. So you have to go here and you report this user. Okay. I was telling you that we do some things that normal users cannot do. One of them is to redact objects. Okay. Let's say that in a part of the map, I introduce data taken from Google Maps. Okay. The problem with the revert data, the reverting data is not a problem. It's very good. Okay. But the only thing that happens in OpenStreetMap, like in Wikipedia, is that the older versions of the objects are still there. So even if you delete an object, let's say you have a house and you delete it, this object won't be really deleted. I mean, it will be simply marked as deleted, but it will still be in the database. In fact, if you open the OSM, I should have the OSM open already. I forgot, sorry. A minute. We'll restart what I had here. Okay, if you go here to file, you will see undelete object here. You see, this is one of the ways to undelete an object that was deleted. So objects are deleted from the let's say the open database, but they won't be deleted completely from the database. They will be still there. But what happens with objects that contain copyrighted data? We cannot have them also in the database. So in that case, we have to redact them. Redacting an object is to delete them forever. I mean they are never available for any user anywhere. To speak with truth, in fact, redacted objects are still in the database. Just in case redacting objects go wrong. Let's say one of the data working group users, we redact a huge amount of copyrighted data. And then we found out that they were not copyrighted, or there was something went wrong, whatever. So we could still recover those data. But anyway, once we redact data, all the OSM users, except the data working group users, cannot access this data anymore. So this is the difference between redacting data and reverting data. Anyone can revert data. Any one of you can revert data at any time. But redacting data is something that we cannot, we do only in the data working group, because otherwise we cannot cover the data anymore. Another thing that we do that you cannot do is to hide nodes. Sometimes there are nodes that are offensive against somebody with their names and surname, or nodes that add spam or private data or things like that. So we can hide nodes. You probably know what are nodes at this moment. And the third thing that we can do is to block users. So normal users, they cannot block other users for doing or for mapping or whatever, but we can block users. Let's go again to Severin. And let's say he has done something wrong, he doesn't answer, for example. Let's say Severin is a good person, but he is not answering the questions of many other users. Okay, he's not ignoring the people that are warning him to not going on doing something. So I would send him also a message. If he doesn't answer, then I don't have any other chance than block him to stop him mapping, and then he has to come back to me and tell me what is going on, and to answer some of the questions the other users put him. So blocking a user is something like, you see, this is a button that you won't see ever. That we block a user. We give here a reason. Dear Severin Geo, I have been, me and many other users, we have been contacting you, but you don't answer, and you know, there is an issue with what you are doing, blah, 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 blah. And then here I would ask, I would select for how long time I would block him. In this case, for example, I would tell 0 hours, 0 hours, but would ask needs view. So he would be blocked. I mean, he would start, go in the morning to start mapping, and he would find out a message telling that he is blocked and he has to read a message. So he would be obliged to read the message that I leave him here, and then he would be able to go on mapping. And hopefully he would answer me, because otherwise I would block him again, but in this case for more time. And when we have cases of clear vandalism, people that are very disruptive, or people that insult others and things like that, we sometimes put them a block of 10 years. That is, in fact, a block forever, because it says here 10 years, but it will be blocked forever. So this is these are the 3 things that we do that other users cannot do. Yeah, here I forgot to tell you also that we also encourage people, all the time to put a good change set comments. This is something that happens since long time ago, and it's difficult for us to make stress on that. So good change set comments should be. Oh, I forgot. Here it is. So you see, this is something that happens especially when you do organize activities. You know that for organized activities, we have also a policy that is not really a policy, but is a guideline. That is the organized editing guidelines. I don't know, you, Severin, you have spoken about this already? Severin?
Maybe not actually regarding this specific course, because it's really about validation. It's
Okay.
yes, regarding the more general course that I do, but more for beginners. Yes, I did it, but not here because it was designed actually for experienced users, and we're really, I mean, focused on validation activities
Okay.
and tools. Yeah.
Well, so you know, there are some guidelines to organize editing. That means if you are just mapping yourself at home, of course, this is not organized editing guide, organized editing activity. But if you make an organized activity with a tasking manager or things like that, you should at least have read these organized editing guidelines that tells you, well, some important things that we have to take into consideration to avoid problems, you know, especially when newies and people that are not very very experienced mapping, that they can you know, make some trouble afterwards and like to make reverts and things like that. So so when we have one activity with a tasking manager, for example, is quite typical to see. Let me see, has that. There are some. You see, for example, this one. Let me. You see, sometimes people are doing lots of edits, lots of people at the same time, and they are putting the same comment. This one, for example, HotOSM project 1, 2, 3, 4, missing maps, country, Red Cross. So this is for a user that is not in the organized activity. This doesn't mean anything, because you see only that, okay, this is a project for the Red Cross in the country, whatever, Burkina Faso, for example, or and the missing maps. But this doesn't tell us what the user has done in this change set. So what we ask people to please, when you want to put this, that is okay, there is no problem to put this. What we ask people is to add a comment that is good. For example, you can write this in the change set comment, but before this or after this, maybe better before, you can write exactly what you have done. Added some buildings in Bunia city, for example. You see, or added some roads, or corrected some roads, or modified some roads, and added some shops in. You have to tell with a good change set comment what you have done, and then you can add all these hashtags as you please. There is no problem. You understand? So please, when you make an edit, when you will upload the data, please at the very least give a short description of what you have done, because that will help other users and the data working group or whoever wants to check this edit to know what you have done. Okay. There is this. I will share you this wiki page that explains very well what is a good change set comment. So this is something that I wanted to say.